Hello, Internet world. This is another internet video. Just trying to spread the positive vibes and help people out. This video is entitled Help, I'm Gay, or The Straight Goods on Being Gay. I'm calling it that because, I'll give you a bit of a disclaimer, you're getting advice about being gay from a straight married man. So if you're uncomfortable with that, or if you think that there's nothing I could know or could help you with, just hit pause and maybe go on to something else. But I can tell you that for the last 15 years I've had really close friendships with gay people. I've been exposed to the culture, and I've had lots of great conversations over 15 years with people who are gay about what makes them gay, why did they choose to come out, what's it like, with a family that doesn't accept you, or feeling guilty. So I do have certainly secondhand information with lots of people who are gay and who are good quality people. And I'm going to try and be a bit of their voice today. So I'm going to tell you, most studies, when they do surveys of general segments of the population, the numbers come between 1 and 20% of the population is gay. I would suggest that the number is probably closer to 20. A lot of times people in surveys don't feel comfortable answering these kinds of questions, so they lie. We live in a society where certainly there are people in positions of political power who have been found out to be gay, who certainly wouldn't answer a survey as tick off the gay box. So there is the numbers are a bit unclear just because of that nature of the question and of people's guardedness around the topic. But I would suggest that as time goes on and society gets a little bit more comfortable with the notion of people being gay, that we'll find out that the number is probably closer to 20 than it is to 1%. What does that mean to you? Being assumedly a young person who's thinking maybe they're gay, or who knows, yeah, I'm gay, I'm a gay person. That means that you're not alone, and that it's normal, and that you don't need to feel guilty about the fact that you have sexual thoughts, and that they may be for members of the same sex. There is a large portion of the population who feels the same way that you do, even though you might not be exposed to them right now. You might not know they exist. They certainly do, and they exist in all forms. Being gay isn't I only like members of the opposite sex. It's also I like members of the same sex, and the continuum in between. So wherever you fit on that continuum of sexuality, you can believe me that there are people like you, and you don't need to pigeonhole yourself into one group. If you're feeling pressure from your friends or from your family, when you're 13 years old or 15 years old, and someone says to you, I need to know how tall you're going to be. How tall are you? How tall are you going to be? It's impossible. You don't know. You can't tell. Time will tell. Your body's changing. Things are in flux. And I would suggest that sexuality is the same way. Don't be in a hurry to figure it out, because it'll come naturally. You don't need to feel guilty and feel ashamed while you figure that out, because everyone needs to figure out their own sexuality. I figured out that I was a straight man. Luckily for me, that's really acceptable in society, so that wasn't a problem. It's unfortunate that in society, in some parts of the world, and in some different people with different ideological backgrounds, that it's not acceptable. But that is something that you need to decide once you figure out, if you know you're gay. You need to figure out, is that something that I need to share with everyone at this point? When is a good time for me to do that? But while you're figuring that out, you don't need to feel ashamed. You don't need to feel guilty. And you don't need to rush, because it's something that's very personal, and it's really no one's business but your own until you decide that someone else needs to know. If you're in that situation where it's not acceptable because of religion, it's very unfortunate. I would suggest to you that God, if there is in fact such a being, would encourage and would support loving your fellow man and really just a peaceful existence and living and let living. If God created people in His own image, then 1 to 20% of God is gay. So there you go. And I don't want to put down religion because there's a lot of good involved in it. But when it comes to saying that one group of people is less righteous or less human than someone else, I'm not sure if that's something that is really good for humankind. If you live in a family where gay is not right, that's also unfortunate because it's a normal part of life, and some people are gay, and people need to realize that. But you need to understand that if you live in a first world country, there's a very good chance that you'll be able to one day live in a society where it is acceptable. You can move to a big city where they have gay communities, where people know that it's normal and it's an acceptable behavior or tendency, and people get along quite nicely, and you'll be accepted. You can meet great people who feel the same way. So I guess in closing, you should know that it's normal. You don't need to feel guilty. There's no rush to figure out who you are, and that you're not alone, and it's okay. So at the end of this video, take a deep breath. If you figured out that you are gay, or you're some degree, you have some degree of homosexual tendencies, and this goes for men and lesbian and gay men, that's okay. Take your time, take a deep breath. It's okay. You might not be in a situation where it feels like it's okay, but the greater human population and the world as a whole says, hey, that's fine. You can no more control that than you can control what color your hair is going to be or how tall you're going to be. It's just part of life. So take a deep breath. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Figure it out. And best of luck. You know what? Best of luck, guys. Peace from Rick.